track 3 of
Yeah.
innovation and entrepreneurship for the day. Thank
Yes,
you.
yes. So thanks again. So what a one morning we have such two inspiring talks, first from Ramanand sir and then from Mr. Rajiv Kher, truly motivating talks. Now we come to the track 3 of the Innovation International Leadership Summit. The track 3 will be on the innovation and entrepreneurship. We have lineup of speakers as Wasudev Mishra, Jing, Dr. Elisa, then we have Miss Simay, Akar, and Aashish Nawade. So, continuing with this, we have our first speaker of the for the track 3, which is Mr. Wasudev Mishra. Let me just introduce, quickly go through the introduction of Wasudev Mishra. Vasudev is a 21-year-old young social entrepreneur, founded a social venture called as Silaigram, enabling the rural women to be independent and earn livelihood by upcycling cloth waste. He was also selected as Ashoka Young Changemaker in 2019. Welcome, Vasudev. Your story is truly inspiring to all the young students as well as to us also. The great, you are doing a fantastic job at rural level and also providing the great opportunity for the women also and the opportunity to earn their livelihood. Vasudev?
Thank you so much, Ravi sir, for the nice introduction. I first of all thank IEEE International Leadership Summit team and all the people who are making it happen for inviting me at this event. This is a very wonderful opportunity for me to have a very nice conversation with everyone. Uh, Basically, I was very excited to from the very beginning when we had a talk that I have to give a small talk about what I do. Uh, since I've been following IEEE since last, let's say, 1.5 year now, and wonderful platform for people to engage in leadership activities. Uh, so I'll begin with my story by a little bit of my introduction, and then I can go ahead with it. By the way, my name is Vasudev. I'm a social entrepreneur working on a social impact startup called Silaigram. We are a for-profit social impact company. Uh, our our main aim is to create livelihood in the rural parts of India. Uh, we are currently working with around 100 ladies directly, indirectly, providing them livelihood, mostly mostly structured livelihood as compared to indirect livelihood. Um, we work in small villages and small towns. I started with my hometown 2 years back. It's called Pulgaon. It's 100 kilometers from Nagpur. Um, um, we basically work um, on textile market. So our main function is upcycling. We gather raw materials from textile mills and garment factories. Uh, we procure that material at our workstation. We upcycle them into usable products like shopping bags or any different kinds of bag. We started in 2018 with a team of 5 ladies with a name that we will provide livelihood to first 5 ladies. We'll work on them and we'll see how it goes. So in August we started, and within 3 months we started from 100 bags, and then within 3 months we were producing around 10 to 15,000 bags a month. And then our team grew from 5 ladies to 15 ladies, and now we in 4 of our centers, in which 2 are operational right now. Uh, we are inculcating around 100 ladies at all these 4 centers, 25 ladies each. The main aim is to work on livelihood. The main aim is to work on empowerment. But in my opinion, if I have to say, our ladies or the women need to be empowered, I'll say no, because uh, they don't need to be empowered, to be very honest, at the point where, because women are already empowered. It is just the part they don't get the opportunities that they should be getting. So our aim is to reach up to that level where we provide those equal opportunities in these communities, working on sustainable development goals, how we can make communities, rural communities sustainable, how we can end poverty, how we can end the problem of hunger. As this venture also started from a day when I saw people hungry and I couldn't stay myself hungry for a day. So I thought, why not to work on a sustainable model where we can provide something which can stay for a longer period of time, which can satisfy their hunger. So in 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 rural areas, we have uh, one of the uh, key part is most of the ladies know stitching, and that's where we picked up the note. Most of the ladies in my community where I started knew uh, the art of stitching. So we started on working on their skills initially by stitching bags, and then by then the time as the time went by, we started to getting more ladies who were interested to work in our company, where they also wanted to stitch, they also wanted to do something. And initially, then we started a design lab at our workstation, where we have piled up so much of fabric, which comes from all kinds of factories and all kinds of deco shops, where we have rexine, we have textile fabric, we have all kind of leather. So there are variety of fabrics which we work on. But in this design lab, we let women to design their own products. We on every once in a week we let them sort this material, we let them work on them, we have machineries available. This is an effort to ignite that designer in the ladies who wanted to do something in her life, but she couldn't get to do it. So in the past 2 years, the fruits of these design labs are pretty much clear. We have been able to design 17 different types of products out of the design lab, working on the waste part. So in our workstation, we work on upcycling, which makes sure that any of the material which comes under our workstation should not go for waste. So our strategy is to work with these textile mills and garment factories to work on a zero waste plan. We make sure that their waste or their leftover materials creates an impact by providing livelihood to the ladies. So it's a win-win situation for the corporate as well as for us, as it provides livelihood for them and as it creates an impact for the other corporate as well. So this has been running successfully since last 2 years. We have just completed our 2 years in September. And now our aim is to create this as a model which can be replicated in different parts of our country. Because in this pandemic, that what we have seen is a lot of people lost their jobs. People have lost their lives. We have seen people who have been walking to their homes while this lockdown, and initially, and since last 6 months, I've been engaged in these activities where we have been working with the migrant laborers, people who have been affected by this pandemic, directly and indirectly, working hand in hand with the government. So being seen the problem uh, uh, from the very close perspective, I believe that our nation, even youngsters who are of my age right now, needs to work on change making. And coming from the Ashoka community, what I've learned is we need to enable more people. If we can't do it, then we should enable and we should encourage people who are working on small projects, who want to create small change. They are also equally important as people who are working on a bigger change, because once we inculcate uh, an army of change makers, this nation will be able to get out of this pandemic uh, more faster as it is going out right now. Because since the last 6 months, the tragedy that we have seen, the only solution that we see as social entrepreneurship or social innovation. Because now it's up to time where government as well as private players, or I'll say entrepreneurs, need to work in hand in a public-private partnership, where we can take this ahead and create more livelihood in our country as well as in our states. Mm, one more thing which I also wanted to talk about is while we talk about sustainability, uh, uh, specifically in Ashoka, what I have learned when we coined the term social entrepreneur, uh, I believe there the term which is equally, I mean, very legitimately coined in 1985 by our founder Bill Drayton, who started Ashoka. Um, a person who can create change equally socially as well as on a business perspective. I believe this is what needed in today's world. Even in Silaigram, we work on a policy where we want every woman who works at her workstation as an entrepreneur. She takes ownership in what she does and what she is involved in her company. That is why our productivity has been increasing, and it has been increased by more than 30% while we do such sessions, while we do such work where we make them feel like they are an entrepreneur and they are a change maker in our society. So I believe did I take a lot of time? Uh, Thank you so much, Ravi sir, for the opportunity for letting me speak at this point. Uh, if you have any questions, I can.
Thank you, Vasudev. If you have any question, let me take it from the chat option.
Yeah.
So
Thank you so much, Wasudev.
meanwhile,
Nice to catch you here again.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Uh, it was really inspiring, and then we can connect that you are from a very remote part of India, and still the innovation doesn't confine to. I would say more innovations would come coming from India, and that too rural background. So when we talk about innovation, or when we talk about entrepreneurship, probably that's in genes of India. We are renaming and we are re-exploring the same thing in a new definition, which is in so-called defined as in New India. So Vamsi, when we connected, so we realized that he's from Pulgaon, which is a very small town in Wardha district, I would say, and near Nagpur. So from there he started with, and then today he has been listed as one of the change makers. So good. Over to you, Ravi, for questions.
yes, yeah. So, Vamsi, I have one question to you. Like we nowadays we are seeing very advanced teaching machines. So, like whether you are using such advanced machines, or are you using the traditional ones only? Because we see that women generally use the traditional machines, which is the old one, mechanical machines.
So currently we have been upgrading our workstations day by day according to our jobs. We use traditional machines right now, but they are powered with motors. So I'll say it's technically advanced, but it doesn't look advanced when you look at our workstation. So we are upgrading our workstation day by day, and there are new machines coming every day from China. Even in our country, they're innovating. We are looking for more and more upgradation how we can do once the market arrives.
Okay, great. And how is it like your business model is working out? Like whether you're concentrating on the profit aspects of it, or you're more towards creating the impact. How does that model works?
Yes, I was listening to Rajiv before when I joined in the last session, as he was saying, having profit in a company doesn't it shouldn't be a problem for anything. And we proudly say we are a for-profit social impact company, because once again, when we see such projects or such initiatives work out when there is a sustainable revenue model, or I'll say a sustainable way where the funds come in. So in our revenue model, we work basically B2B. We have tied up with we have tied up with a couple of companies where we provide our products to them as packaging solutions for let's say one of our retail stores that we have tied up with, we provide them upcycled shopping bags on a bulk level. So that provides us a sustainable way of revenue every month. And we have a set amount of livelihood which we can provide it to the ladies for at least a year. And that's how we are sustaining at this point. Other than that, what we upcycle, we sell it to our retailers, to our suppliers in various parts of the state as well. So that is how our revenue model is working. But when it comes to opening a center, or bifurcating as a franchise at different parts, it again needs that part where we need a capex to set up the whole infrastructure if we really want to start something at that point. When social aspect is I mean, when it comes to the social aspect of this initiative, yes, we look forward to work with any non-profit organization where they can get a CSR to get the infrastructure ready. And then what we do is we tie up with them and we give the work as well as we buy the work from them. That's how the model works from our side.
Great, great. And how does it is challenging for like you to convince the rural women to work for you? Like, was there a challenge from the social culture of the village? Like, whether you have faced any like issues with their family that no, will not send our women for working with you. So how you tackle that challenge?
So it's very difficult when we started. For the first 6 months, it has been a huge challenge for us for tackling with the mindset of the community, as well as the mindset of the people who have been who we have been working with. Although I come from the same community, I've been grown up at that point, but when it comes to the part where we provide livelihood, or when we are doing something out of the box, it's very hard to uh, run parallelly with the social system, I'll say, the society. But we had sessions with the families, we had counseling session with the women and their families who were having problems for sending their ladies to our workstation. But initially, my mom has been the greatest help and the inspiration behind this initiative, where she has been an active, integral part of our company, where she has had sessions. She went into the community. She had talks with these self-help groups because she has been connected with them since last 17 years, because she has been training these ladies in stitching, but the problem was employment. When we brought employment, it was something new for them to work on a daily basis in a company which never even people ever thought that in rural part a company can be started. And I can say proudly, 90% of my work at Silaigram happens in Pulgaon, and only 10% of or so we do it from Nagpur or any other parts of the country. But we are very proud that our ladies are entrepreneurs. They make things happen, and it's very nice to see how communities are now changing and developing, where now people are understanding their needs and also adapting to the change, where they can become entrepreneurs and they can become the change makers.
Yes, and you always talk about the empathy part of any when you are in doing any social venture. You always have to have that empathy, right? So, what is your view, especially for those men who wants to do some work on women entrepreneurship or women empowerment? So, what's your thought on that? Like, how men can have that empathy for women?
I'll broaden this question a bit, not just for women. I'll say for any social problem, for any structural conflict that we see in our society, uh, there are so many people working in. So I'll, to be very honest, at the point, um, there are more people who want to help than the problems in our country. To be very honest, but the problem is when you see those people who really want to help, they don't actually understand the problem by the point. Uh, and that is the crucial problem that we have been facing. And one of the best solutions that we find is empathy. Uh, if we don't empathize with people, or if we don't empathize with uh, uh, the audience that we are working with, I don't find that solution is as workable as it should be with empathy. Because when I started, it was the time when I tried to stay hungry and I couldn't do it because I put my feet in someone else's shoes. Then I realized the problem, and a lot of people don't even realize the problem. They start working on solution. So empathy is a skill that every change maker, every entrepreneur, every person who wants to do something or who wants to create change is something very crucial that people need to work on. And if that is worked out, there is nothing like it which can stop anyone to do change in their society.
Thank you so much, Vasudev. Always inspiring to hear from you. You're doing wonderful job, and I've been following you for more than 2 years. And
Yes,
it's great to see you achieving the great heights and creating this, especially the impact in the society. Thank you so much.
thank you,
On
thank
behalf
you.
of the organizing team of the IEEE WI ILS-Nagpur, we would like to give you a token of gratitude.
Thank
Kindly
you,
accept
thank you,
this virtual memento from us.
thank you.
Thank you, Wasudev. So now let's move on to our next speaker. Our next speaker is Dr. Jing Dong. The Dr. Jing Dong, she is going to speak on the topic waking up leaders in engineers. So let me go through. We are very tight on our schedule. So let me go through quick through his bio. I'm going to read few lines about her, and please, I could justify with her bio. So Dr. Jing Dong received her PhD in pattern recognition from the Institute of Automation, Chinese Academy of Science, Asia in 2010. She is currently an associate professor in the National Laboratory of Pattern Recognition in Asia. She is a senior member of IEEE. She was the founding chair of University of Chinese Academy of Sciences student branch. She is currently chair of Art and Activity Technology Community, Humanitarian Technology Community. Welcome, Jing, on behalf of the organizing committee of IEEE WILS. We welcomes you.
Thank you for introduction. Can you hear me nicely?
Welcome, Jing Dong.
Yeah.
Welcome. Good morning and
Good morning. Good morning, Patty. Hello all. When I got the invitation of this session, actually, I asked Patty that I may not be the very right one to talk about entrepreneurship because I never go to industry. I set myself in the academic aspect and in technology aspect, actually. So before I talk about my ideas about the innovation and entrepreneurship, I wanted to say more about myself with IEEE actually. I'm now doing my research work at the institute, which is the very traditional research institute in China called the Chinese Academy of Sciences. And my professional skills was focusing on the artificial intelligence, more specific for computer vision to detect multimedia content with fake content, like to defeat the deepfake technology, so on and so forth. And my journey with IEEE myself was starting from the joining IEEE as a student member. As introduced by the chair, I was the founding chair for the UCAS, University of China Academy of Sciences, as student branch chair in 2008. And then the Beijing section Biometrical Council chapter chair, and then the WIE Beijing Affinity Group vice chair. And now I'm also serving as the Regional Humanitarian Technology Activity Committee chair from 2019. Before I was the WIE chair in the year early. So for about 10 years and more for the volunteering myself in IEEE, I think I can say something about how to start to empower or inspire the women leaders in IEEE. with attribute actually in WIE. Here are some key points I want to share with you. Actually, for the whole lifetime career development, IEEE is definitely a very good platform for everyone who wanted to be an academic, technical, or anything with technology, inspiration, and empower yourself and be a leader in this kind of a field towards a very, very bright future in the whole world. It's a lifetime sustainable development itself for IEEE member. It's really a lifetime sustainable development, especially for the WIE member as a WIE member, as myself. And you can get to power from your belief. So actually, this community is already for advanced technology for the humanity at the top level for engineers. And also here you can learn, you can get a power from the people you wanted to be or you wanted to be with. You can find your role models here. If you wanted to become a leader, identify a leader in IEEE and follow her or follow him. And also you can get a power from the people surround you in your local community and from the people you love and ask them to come with you to join this community and follow the journey towards your future. And so this is a lifetime sustainable development for WIE and for IEEE member here. This is one of my first suggestion to start up for the leadership and innovation at the very early age in your life. And also, I also have the second observation or the suggestion to say that actually the female itself for the gender is very good for developing yourself to be a leader. Why? The diversity aspect, for the diversity aspect for the human gender. Take myself in as an example. Usually the female takes more responsibilities for the social community as well as for the human humanities. You have to be a doctor, a student, and you have to be a mother in the future. And also you have to be a wife, and maybe some days you have to be the mentor for your kids. And also most of the time you have to be the worker for your boss. So itself for this gender identity is a diversity united identity for this kind of gender, right? So female engineers itself is already has the basic features of the good leaders. What the features for the good leaders? I say you have to be positive. You have to be capable to solving problems, right? You have to be open-minded, and you have to be very good at self-control, and you have to be confident. And the most of all, you have to be very, very good at and be real awareness of the serving others. Serving others is the nature of the females, right? So this kind of features already set it down for the basic features of the leaders. So this is the second observation for my suggestions for becoming a good leader. And the third one for the innovation, I think it's very, very important to define the group that you can learn, or you can volunteer, or you can contribute and lead. What reason? Because the innovation comes from the knowledge you have learned, become the experience that you have experienced, right? And become the words or the books you have read, the movies you have watched, all of that, the insights you have think about. So based on that kind of basic knowledge comes to build your innovation. So you have to define a group that you can learn from. You have to define some kind of a community. You could volunteer yourself. And the second one, you have to think something big, but to do something in details. If you have a goal you wanted to go with, and you will take actions like. But you don't have to be just think about doing something big. I want to be a big boss. I want to make money, but do nothing. That impossible. So think something big, but do something in details. This also will accelerate your ability for the leadership path. And the third one, you have to stay curious and solve the concrete problems. You say something like you just want to start up a company. You have to do many things in detail. Find a workplace, get some people, recommend people, and a lot of things. The documents, the details. These all detailed things. You have to take actions on solving the concrete problems, and then take actions. There was a famous saying for the Jack Ma, who's the founder of Alibaba in China. He's the most powerful people in business area here in China now. And he always saying that don't wait until tomorrow. Tomorrow is too far. Just do it today. If you have an idea, just do it. So this is the kind of innovation because you're young. Because young people can get a lot of feedbacks. Even the bad feedbacks they can learn from, and then become much more stronger towards the leader's path. So basically, this is the 3 insights that I want to share with you. And I also wanted to introduce that if you haven't defined a group that you can learn, you just take WIE Affinity Group as a first try. And also because WIE Affinity Group is very good platform the community with the WIE members. And also I will suggest the site group, the special interesting group for humanitarian technology, for the engineers who wanted to develop the specific and very good technology for the better humanity. So site group and the WIE Affinity Group, you could take as define the group that you can learn and volunteer yourself at the first step. So I think this is some very short insights that I can deliver, and I can share the experience with you. And if you have questions, I'm very welcome to discuss that with you. So thank you.
Ravi sir.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jing.
Thank you.
If you have any question from the audience, you can just put in chat.
I don't see any coming at the moment. So thank you, Ding Chong, for joining us. I mean, this is really something really important for all of us. And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Singh. On behalf of the organizing team of IEEE WIE ILS-Nagpur, would like to present you a virtual memento and a token of gratitude. Kindly accept this.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jing.
Thank you also. Thank you.
So now, next speaker is Dr. Elisa S. Barney Smith, MGA Sec Chair, Boies, Idaho, USA. So Dr. Elisa is going to speak on the innovation and leadership. So Dr. Elisa is faculty at Boies State University. Her research focus is image processing and machine learning. Dr. Elisa is also IEEE member and member of Society of Photo-Optical Instrumentation Engineer. She was chair of Boies section of IEEE from 2002 to 2003 and also chair of section 6 Northeast area from 2009 to 2013. Welcome, Dr. Elisa.
Thank you very much for inviting me to join you here.
Welcome, Dr. Elisa. So over to you, Dr. Elisa. We are eager to hear from you.
Great. May I share my screen?
Yeah, I request Dr. Manoj if you can share presenter right to Dr. Elisa. Yes.
Yes, ma'am, you can share.
Yeah, now you can share, please.
Yep. There we go. So I'm prepared a few slides to go along with the talk. And I was asked to speak on innovation and entrepreneurship. And similar to our previous speaker, as an academic, I don't have a lot to say about entrepreneurship. So instead, I changed it to leadership and innovation. And I'm chair of student activities for IEEE. I'm finishing up my second year term for that. And looking at leadership, I looked up the definition. It's setting out to direct and build an inspiring vision and to create something new. It's also mapping out where you need to go in order to win as a team or an organization, and the ability of an individual, group, or organization to influence or guide other individuals, teams, or organizations. So the big thing I want to really focus on here is it's not a me sort of thing. Leadership is an us. In order to be a good leader, you really need to be thinking about the other people around you and how you can bring out the best in everybody around you. And innovation is the action or process of developing a new method, idea, or product to introduce something new. And it can refer to not just something new, but also to make something that's existing better. And with that, if we're trying to work as a team and get other people, we're trying to make something better than we were before, what can we do? And keep in mind, it does not need to be something new. It's just fine to take something that exists and make something that exists better. And as I was looking at it, I came across this plot in Wikipedia, in Google, popped up this plot. And innovation nowadays is talked about a lot more, although we do need to keep into consideration that a couple hundred years ago, there was not nearly as many documents out there in which it could have been mentioned, but it is an old word. And I want to talk about leadership and innovation in two different areas, some of my teaching background and in what I've been doing the last 2 years with the Student Activities Committee. And with teaching, I teach a course, Signals and Systems. It's a third-year course required in most electrical engineering programs. So this is not something brand new. So if you're going to have innovation, I can't do something totally new. The subject has been around for quite a long time and is taught at many universities around the world. So what can we do with a course here to have innovation and bring around and make it better? Well, I did some stuff that was a little bit of an innovation, but it was not totally a new idea, but it was good enough to make an impact. And through that impact, I won an exemplary course program award from the Blackboard Classroom Management System. And with IEEE Student Activities Committee, likewise, we've got a lot of students we're trying to work with, and they're a real big portion of the IEEE membership, and it's all over the world. And this year, the numbers are quite a bit down, so I can use your help getting those numbers back up. Suddenly, IEEE students are getting a lot of visibility in the rest of IEEE just because our numbers have dropped. But there's a lot of interesting stuff going on we do impact a lot of students. And in that committee, we do an awful lot of different things, and we're trying to reach out to others. We heard the previous couple speakers talking about our impact on other people. And within student activities, again, this has been around for years and years. It is not new, we offer a lot of products to our students to try and make their membership better. And then this year, as a new activity, something I was able to innovate to make better is a new virtual speakers bureau. And that's thanks to the help of a team, a leadership team, which I've been able to develop. And the next speaker whom you'll hear from, Ms. Simay, Akar, and also one of your organizers for this event, Mr. Vamsey, brought forward a great team where we are doing wonderful things with this virtual speakers bureau by capitalizing on the networking ability with IEEE and the ability to do remote presentations like this to bring speakers to student branches around the world. And this was envisioned before there was any COVID to try and keep people at home. So this was not just a response to COVID. And I invite all of you to join up to be a virtual speaker if you're not already one. If you have something good to talk about, and all of our panelists here do, you can join being a virtual speaker and bring your message to student branches around the world. And if you're a student branch, I encourage you to go and seek one of these virtual speakers. So with leadership, it's what can you do to bring other people's best out? And they're thinking about them, connecting with them as people, and recognizing what valuable skills everybody else has. In innovation, some hints to think about is that you don't need to come up with something totally new. Everything can be made a little bit better. And you make something a little bit better, then collectively the world goes better overall. And sometimes that little bit better that you just come up with can really be a major impact to somebody else. Just keep thinking about it does not need to be new. Wherever you can make an impact on the world is really good. And some other general advice to people out there is that you don't have to worry about being number one yourself. Don't compare yourself. Just try and be the best you can. Just try and do whatever you can to make yourself better so you can innovate yourself as well. And a few additional resources that people can look at outside of this talk, as we're running behind on the schedule and I had a 16-minute window, is look at our students' website. This is where you can find all the things going on in student programs and how you can contribute. And under opportunities is where the Virtual Speakers Bureau is listed, and we have our monthly webinars. And I've written a couple of articles for the IEEE Potential Student Magazine relevant to this topic. And I encourage you to look at these at a later time, as they may bring you some good ideas. And here's where you can get more information about IEEE students as well. And I want to thank you again very much for inviting me to join you here.
Thank you so much, Dr. Elisa Barney. I have rather than one, not a question, I have one thought to share with you. I also would like you to comment on this. Over the years, like we have seen IEEE, especially in terms of the leadership, the students, those who are active in IEEE volunteering, we see they achieve the leadership position in their professional career very early due to their IEEE volunteering experience. So what's your thought on this?
I agree that anytime that you're getting involved with any organization, you're going to learn a lot more for yourself, and stepping forward for the next opportunity is that much easier to do. A lot of the names that we have at your conference here are people that are not just doing one thing, but who are doing a lot of different things. So just doing one thing leads you to doing the next thing. And we've heard our previous speaker talk about how you can try things out in IEEE. There's a lot of opportunities for leadership for both men and women, well beyond the percentages we see women in engineering. And what you learn from being a leader in one organization translates into experience you can use to further your career and further your goals in other organizations as well.
Right, rightly said, and agree to that also. So, on behalf of the organizing team of IEEE WILS, we'd like to present you a virtual memento. If there are no question from the panel or audience, we can go ahead with the presentation of your memento, Elisa. Yes. So, next slide, Dr. Muli, please. Yeah. So on behalf of the organizing team of IEEE Women Engineering International Leadership Summit, Nagpur, Dr. Elisa Barney kindly accept this virtual memento as a token of gratitude from us.
Thank you very much. I need to find some place to host all these virtual mementos.
Thank you so much, Dr. Elisa, for joining us.
Moving on to next speaker, Simay Akar. So Simay Akar is going to speak on the topic empowering women as clean energy entrepreneurs. So Simay Akar is currently Chief Commercial Officer and co-founder of Innosis, an innovative sustainable energy solution provider offering lithium-ion products worldwide. She is senior IEEE member. She has also been at various leadership positions in various global committees of IEEE, such as humanitarian technology activities, IEEE Power and Energy Society, IEEE Women in Engineering, IEEE Young Professionals. So, Simay Akar, like since you are as a chief commercial officer at Innosis, working on the lithium-ion battery, I have a like a use case problem for you. Like I'm using my phone and it's been giving you a message like it's been overheating, so you cannot run your video. So that's why my video is off.
Mm-hmm.
So, Dr. Simay Akar, over to you for your talk.
Thank you very much for the nice introduction. I'm really happy to be here and also together with this great panelists. And well, thank you for the invitation. I'm still not able to share my screen. Could you please give?
Manoj, can you help? Manoj, can you help? Thank you, Simar. It's long time we have waited.
Very nice to see you all and happy to be here. So I have a presentation to share. Here. I want you to confirm. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Is it visible? Okay.
Yes, yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's great. Well, I would like to address today like empowering women as clean energy entrepreneurs. And I'm also, you already mentioned, I'm actually a IEEE senior member and I'm serving some roles working with, I'm privileged to work with Dr. Elisa in the MJ student activities and also several other roles, but I serve in different organizational units in the past. And I joined IEEE as student, but in my professional life, I'm a clean energy professional in the industry, and also currently serving as co-founder and chief commercial officer for lithium-ion battery manufacturer in the specific electric vehicles and also a renewable energy field. And after my graduation in university, I started working in the renewable energy industry, in particular the solar, and I worked for the photovoltaic panel manufacturers for a while. So I'm from Turkey, and I also studied and graduated in Turkey also, raised and born. And so in the past 3.5 years, I worked in China in the photovoltaic panel manufacturer, and also I was part of the Region 10 in IEEE structure for those years, but I'm belong to Region 8 at this moment, and serving some roles also there. So my background is renewable energy. So that's why I would like to really highlight women entrepreneurship and women's role in the renewable energy industry. I'm actually hearing a little bit echo. I hope it doesn't really bother you all. But
No, even we hear that, Simay. I would request all the panelists to please turn off your mics so that there won't. Yeah, I think it's better now.
yeah, well, I would like to make sure that you're also comfortable with the voice. So thank you very much for carrying that. And so why renewable energy? So for not only as a woman, actually, like altogether, there are so many things to do in the renewable energy. So like by nature, we are in the transition of the energy from the conventional energy resources to clean energy. So that actually brings a lot of opportunity for innovation and leveraging technology for this field. And you know that there are so many resources for the future and for the estimation and of the future of the renewable energy resources by several years. But based on the IRENA's resource, which is International Renewable Energy Agency, they have an outlook in 2021. According to this outlook, actually, we really expect today we're talking about over 25% of renewable-based power generation, but by 2020, from 2020 to 2050, so by every year, like in 2030, 2040, so we're seeing the serious increase of that renewable energy-based power generation. So by 2050, so we expect over 86% renewable based power generation. So which is actually very encouraging. It's not just like renewable energy installation and power generation. So that also brings a lot of innovation opportunities for the technology as well. And also when we talk about the sustainable development, and so it is not only renewable energy. There are so many other factors that really supports the clean energy transition. And when we talk about the UN Sustainable Development Agenda, so we're talking about the social, environmental, and economical aspects, and with the partnership and peace together. So we cooperate and we actually reach the Sustainable Development Goal. And the gender role is also one of the highlights in the Sustainable Development Goals, but it's also very important. You know, it's not just like we're trying to reach gender equality by the project. Actually, all these fields in the Sustainable Development Goals that we are really targeting the gender equality. Well, again, according to IRENA's report on online gender survey, so we're actually seeing less percentage of the women in the STEM jobs. So and we are seeing more women's share of the women in the administrative jobs and non-STEM technical fields, but specific to energy industry, so less women in the STEM jobs. But we're actually in the also natural transition. So there are a lot of barriers for women in the energy sector, but also by taking initiative in this field that we will be the change maker and actually overcome these barriers. I don't consider them as barriers, so I just consider them as challenge. So we can really take advantage of the change for the change. And again, for the gender composition of the boards in the renewable energy sector, so we are actually seeing at the C-level, for the leadership level, so we are actually seeing less women comparing to NGOs and the governments. And well, clean energy itself is in transition, so it naturally brings a lot of opportunities for the females, so for the gender gap as well. So and as entrepreneurs, so you know that brings more opportunity for women to to overcome that glass ceiling and get more higher positions in the industry, but also by innovation and technology, so there are more entrepreneurship opportunities for all of us as well. So renewable energy itself has also different fields and also different technologies. They're just like improving separately. It's really important to place your ideas and address the right field and just like focus on your specific field to just innovate ideas and technologies. Well, there are really great role models in this industry already in the also, you know, just like according to Women Economic Empowerment program. So there are so many great role models in the industry, also in different fields of energy. So it's all about you, actually. So you need to build your confidence in yourself and really specialize. There's so many technologies are in this field. So energy transition brings digitalization, energy storage, and so many clean energy innovations opportunities. So then it's not about the technology, because there are so many opportunities in this field, but it's all about you, that you want to be a change maker, and you really you will make it happen. And what are the opportunities for women in this field? Actually, there are so many funding opportunities for women, and there are some programs as well. But it's not, you don't really need to rely on your capital. Capital is critical, but it's not the only factor. So there are so many other measures. So you need to really define your business model, and you need to analyze the competition in that field. So actually, technology really matters in the clean energy industry. And there are some technologies in the R&D level, and they have potential to change the industry itself. So then, and also the digitalization, energy storage, and many other new fields are coming up. And we are no longer consumer in this energy sector. We are becoming prosumer. If you haven't heard a prosumer concept, that we are actually producing and consuming at the same place, and we're in the smart environment. We're talking about the sustainable cities that also brings a lot of opportunities. So there are many things to do. So and you just need to develop your right business model for the industry, and you don't really need to be entrepreneur only. So there are a lot of social entrepreneurship opportunities as well, so specific to your local environment. So you can start the change from your social environment as well. So environment is important. So you need to place yourself in the right field of renewable energy industry, and there's no doubt you can be a change maker as women and men together. So it's not only women. So women and men together in equality, so we can really change, and we can really be one of the change makers in this industry. So thank you very much, and I'll be happy to answer your questions.
Thank you so much, Simay. So just one question from my side. It's like, do you see that at any point of time in near future that clean energy is going to take over the renewable energy? Do you see that?
Clean energy is taking over the renewable energy or conventional energy? May I ask a little bit clarification? So the question is, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. So my question is like, do you see that in near future that the clean energy is going to replace all the renewable energy sector? It's like, or let me put it in other way, the clean energy sector is going to dominate the renewable energy sector.
Well, clean energy sector, well, clean energy, renewable energy is actually referring to pretty much the same goal, but well, it's not just one single report, only the industry and the outcomes and all the results. Like even for some, according to some reports or just like estimations for the future. So they're even getting more closer. So like the change is actually quicker than we expect. Even these days in 2020 during the pandemic, so we were actually expecting more delay in the targets for clean energy, renewable energy in this, because clean energy technologies also includes e-mobility and other fields of clean energy. But that's why we are a little bit separating the concept than renewable energy itself. But clean energy also covers the renewable energy. But just like so many countries, they have their own targets for the renewable energy or clean energy in industries and installations. But even during the pandemic, we have seen the results and the support for this field. So whole world is behind us. So then we are already in the natural transition. So that change, there will be no change like this. There will be a transition. So we are already part of that transition. So we expect higher outcome, like higher numbers and just like the share of the renewable energy generation and the clean energy technology investments sooner than we expect. I hope it was clear.
Yes,
hello.
Thank you so much.
Hello, Simay. This is Amoli. I have one question related to the bio-renewable energy aspect. Can you highlight on some bio-renewable energy aspects?
Of course. So actually, I didn't really go in details of renewable energies so renewable energy, bio is also like not the highest share comparing to solar, wind, and the other resources, but actually it's really significant and also an improvement. So it's specific to the shares of bio. I can just like open my slides again. So we actually see the percentage comparing the other renewable resources. It's maybe a little just like a little bit lower, but actually the impact is really big. And also specific and also renewable energy industry itself and the resources itself is like there is no one solution for everywhere. So it depends on the environmental conditions. So then in some countries, like for example, the case of Costa Rica, so we are just like talking about very close to 100% renewable energy power generation, but not all of them are from solar or wind specifically. So it's actually like also including hydro and geothermal. So like they're very close to 100%. So it's like a role model in the renewable energy industry. But without the other renewable energy investments, so they cannot really reach 100% because it's not really possible just to invest in one technology in one country and reach the target because of the conditions. So in this case, so bioenergy and other renewable resources plays really important role to support and overcome the solutions from overcome the problems from renewable energy resources as well, because like you need to, that's why we actually have the energy storage and the other fields, just to support and also overcome all those challenges from the renewable energy and make it more convenient. So, and the bioenergy plays a very important role also, and also specific to some parts of the world and some specific countries and the cases. But it's more convenient, so that it's really applicable.
Hello, Simay.
Thank you so much.
Good to see you after so long. We met in 2013 first.
Absolutely, of course. Very nice to see you.
Yeah. So I would like to ask you one question on storage of renewable energy. What is new in that area? Storage, because that is the real problem. Yeah.
Yes, actually, energy storage is actually one of the solutions to overcome the challenges of the renewable energy generation. So that is the real that is the real part that we can really have innovation right now. So we are just talking about different types of batteries. Like like even for myself and my story, like because I'm from the solar industry, like I just found a lithium ion battery field is actually improving. There are many things to do in that field just to support this industry, because it really complements each other. So then that's why actually I slightly changed from solar to energy storage, and also ended up as entrepreneur. And it's going well, because if you want to take initiative in that field as energy storage change maker, so like just like innovation is really possible. So because just as like a thing, well, we are seeing the high installation numbers in countries like Germany, China, and India also really high, just like there are so many investments, but then there are so many questions also about those installations. So energy storage in that point really supports the just like the installations. And just like when you store, like you have less questions. So that's why actually we're developing the energy storage technologies to support this industry better and make the clean energy transition faster. So that there are just specific improvements in the other technologies as well. So in the near future, we will hear more about energy storage.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Simay. Now we'll proceed to the e-memento presentation to you. So Dr. Amuli, if you can share the screen. So this is presenting the virtual memento from organizing team of IEEE WIE ILS. So kindly accept this as a token of gratitude.
Thank you very much for this kind invitation and being here. It was really great. And Elisa also highlighted, and just like it's like a collection now that we have e-tokens, and it's actually a good opportunity to encourage everyone, especially if, in the student activities. We have virtual speakers here, so you have a chance to be also a speaker. So we have Ramsey and Dr. Elisa here, so part of that. So today that we're just like, we are lucky to meet here, here, just like connect wherever we are in the world. That's why probably we overcome the challenges of 2020 by this emotional support. It's actually a really big pleasure by being connected, and thank you so much for giving me this opportunity and meeting with you here.
Thank you so much, Simay.
Thank you so much, Simay. Thank you.
So our next speaker is also technology entrepreneur working in the. Can I request everyone to please kindly turn off their mic? Yeah. So our next speaker is also the technology entrepreneur in the environmental sector, Mr. Aashish Nawade. Mr. Aashish Nawade is the CEO of Innovative Environmental Technology Private Limited, Pune. Aashish is MBA graduate from London Business School, UK, and Bachelor of Engineering in Instrumentation and Control from India. He has over 24 years of experience in project management, design, detail engineering, and asset integrity. His company has successfully managed and commissioned first large-scale bio-CNG plant in India. That's something which is very commendable for his company. So he's going to again speak on the innovation and entrepreneurship as from the environmental point of view. So over to Aashish now. Aashish, do you have a presentation to share?
I think I'm not able to share, so I had handed over to Amoli. So if she can share the presentation.
Or we can, or Dr. Manoj, if you can share, give the presentation right to Aashish.
That can be done.
Ashish, we can share from your end, that will be great.
No, I understand, but I think we tried earlier, it didn't work. So I'm having the map, so some issues. So okay. So thank you very much for inviting me for this presentation. And just before I get into the presentation, may I answer some of the queries which were raised on a previous presentation for biorenewable energy, if you allow. Hello?
Yes, sir, please. Yes.
So as far as the biorenewable energy in India is concerned, Government of India has come up with a scheme called SATAT, that is to develop this bio-CNG program in India to to basically mitigate the issue of this parali and the weed, the burning in North India, causing the pollution and the environmental issues in Delhi as well as other part of the northern part of the country. So that scheme is in place, and it is the biggest drive, and we are expecting something around 30,000 crore rupees worth of investment coming in this sector through that Satat scheme. So this is just for your information, what is happening on biorenewable in India. Biopower was the earlier, solution, but now bio-CNG for last 7-8 years, it is happening. It was keeping low, but last 1 year it has got the support of the government, and it is moving in the right direction. So this is, and fuel cell is the another, area which was, there was a question, what is next? So fuel cell is the another area which for the renewable energy, it is likely to be the next, innovation, or it's already there, it's going to happen. So let me come back to my presentation now. The photograph what you are looking at is of the first bio-CNG project in India, which we delivered at Varna for the Spectrum Renewable Energy, Varna, Kolhapur. So we made basically the bio-CNG from biogas. Here we received 22,000 cubic meter of biogas, and we produced 9 ton of bio-CNG, which was sold to the local foundries at that time, because there were no mechanism in place to sell bio-CNG, and there were no approval from ARAI to use it in transport vehicles. Now with the Satat scheme, all these things are in place. IOCL, HPCL, all the refiners have been mandated to purchase the bio-CNG from the developers, and they are allowed to
We are unable to hear, sir.
can
Hello? We are unable to hear.
hello. Oh,
Can
hello.
you please switch? Hello? Can
Are
you
you able
please?
to hear now?
Yes, now.
Okay, sorry. Do I need to repeat? You didn't hear anything?
No,
No,
just
sir,
now
please
only.
continue. Please
Yeah,
continue. We lost you for a second.
okay, fine. Okay, can we go to the next slide, please? Okay, now since the theme of the whole session is about innovation, so I thought of discussing only the innovation in detail here, and then bring to the notice of audience what is the innovation, though people have defined it earlier. Innovation basically talking about exploitation of a new idea or ways to create a value. So I will go to switch. This was the innovation which was brought by Kevin Peterson. On the right hand side, you can see the his photo. So what did he do basically in cricket? He's a right hand batsman, and when the bowler bowls, just before the bowler bowls, he switched his side and became a left hander and hit the ball over the boundary. there were a debate on that, and it is officially allowed. So innovation in sports also makes huge contribution. By doing this, they can their performance and get the maximum from the sponsors or from the team owners. That is on cricket, on the innovation. So if you go to the new products line, I would like you to go back to the Walkman era, means maybe in 90s or, that period when Sony Walkman was, very popular and was the best Walkman or the best musical instrument, music player, a portable music player available period of time. Then came Apple iPod. So what did it do basically? What were the problems with Sony Walkman? Sony Walkman was a good, player, but it could only forward or reverse the song maybe in one step or two steps. Whereas the concept, and it had got a limited storage. Whatever was there on the CD or whatever was there in the audio cassette, it used to play that, maybe 8 songs, 10 songs, 12 songs. Apple iPod came with the innovation, a library of songs. You can scroll through the songs. You can select any songs from 50,000, 100,000 songs which are available on the library. And it revolutionized the whole concept of the music industry and the offering available. So innovation in product is a key. Getting the market. Now we will discuss about the innovation in service. Now we have been, bombarded with the number of apps and number of things available on our smartphone. One of the service which everyone earlier used to have issues was to get the carpenters, electricians, plumbers at home and do a professional service, and also to make them accountable for whatever they have done. There was always a fear what will go wrong and whether they will perform or not. So Urban Clap, or there was another portal called gharbaithi.com. There are many. Urban Clap mainly came up with this aggregation of the professional service provider. Is an innovation again, and they brought all these people on the platform, and we are able to get those services at our fingertip and get the professional services and also have accountability, attached to it with Urban Clap. Now, this is another innovation into the available services. Whatever services were available, they were rendered, but somebody came up with the idea, aggregated them, and provided at a reasonable, rate, which is another, challenge. Then on the same service category, if you see Ola or Uber, every one of us has used it. I will give a simple example of Pune to Mumbai travel. Daily within Pune city or Mumbai city, any travel or Delhi, we are using Ola or Uber. But the main thing was Pune to Mumbai airport travel. The travel agency used to charge return fare. Now Ola Uber, when it came up with the idea, it only charged single fare. So you are saving maybe 3,000 rupees one way. Instead of paying a return fare of 5,000, 6,000, you are paying only 2,500 or 3,000. And now it has come down to 2,200 before pandemic. So this they brought, we were at our fingertip. We could call the taxi and we could travel without any hesitation. The cars were well maintained than what used to be done earlier. Now, WhatsApp is the another service provider which has come up with the there were messengers available. It's not that it has brought something new. It is not an invention. It is an innovation again, because the service for the chat services, whatever chat services were available during the period of time, WhatsApp provided simplicity and user-friendly platform for private chats. Even our grandfather or grandmother, they could also use WhatsApp. It was so simple, and it revolutionized. And now they have multiple, business models on that. For SME business, there is a separate model. For yesterday only, they were allowed to launch the WhatsApp Pay, model in India. So it also, WhatsApp also had an early mover advantage, and basically it is a ad-free service. These are the main USP with which they brought the innovation, and they were successful in the market. Facebook acquired it subsequently, which everyone knows. So any innovation, any idea which changes the market scenario or market segmentation and brings value is going to last long and create value for the promoters also. Now, we'll discuss about the new business model. I am trying to bring some innovation in each type of segment. So if you look at a business model, maybe 10 years back, 15 years back, we used to go to a travel agent to book a air ticket or to book a hotel for Delhi or Shimla or any other place, or even international for Dubai. Make My Trip, which is another online portal available for booking, it brought the concept of trusted booking, portal where from your smartphone, from your PCs or laptop, you can book any hotel, any air travel ticket at a reasonable rate. You don't have to bother to go to travel agent office and negotiate with him the fares or the hotel charges. And refund also was made easy. There was a customer support system available. So it revolutionized the whole travel segment. And if you see, at least in the metro cities or the major cities, travel agent business has gone. There is hardly any business with the travel agent now. Majority of the business is either to Make My Trip or Yatra or similar kind of portals available. So they brought an innovation. They used the online, platforms, but they brought the innovations and aggregated the major air travel agencies as well as the hotels to get the best value for the customer. Now, in the supply chain network, which we have seen in last specifically 5 years, huge change in the mindset of the people and also the innovators. Look at the big basket. What is it doing today? And fantastic business, grocery and food, services at your doorstep. Just, you have to order on an app or through a laptop. You can order and get whatever you like at a discounted rate. Similarly, for Zomato and Swiggy, they ventured into first, the restaurant ratings and then food delivery and, so Swiggy and Zomato, they are another example of innovation. How a simple idea, again, the idea also would have come from Uber or Ola, the aggregation, the aggregator idea. It came from there, but they innovated in a different field of hotel industry or food industry, and they are very successful. Similarly, if you see the e-commerce, Amazon or the payment gateway, like Paytm is an Indian success story. It started with mobile, recharge, and then now it is the largest, financial service provider in India, or Google Pay. So simple to transfer money from one, person to another person. So these are the innovation ideas which we have to, understand as a, since a lot of students are there, I'm trying to bring to them. Byju's is another, example how online education is revolutionized. It's not that education was not imported earlier, but the way it has been imported. So the next one is, how, entrepreneur, basically, what do they do differently? So basically, you have to have a dream. You have to chase that dream. Out of box thinking is important. You have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to have a very strong network and nurture that network. And you have to take a calculated risk for an expected reward in future. So I will give one simple example of a company called Petrofac, which is presently listed on London Stock Exchange. But it started by two entrepreneurs, and it started with a very small capital, doing $1 million project in 1992, and presently doing $7 billion worth of revenue with 25,000 employees. So this can be the scale of, the entrepreneurship, how the business model can grow. And I was part of Petrofac, so that also gives me a lot of pleasure. On a thinking perspective from the entrepreneurial side, we need to focus always on a customer experience. That is very critical and important. We have to constantly question the status quo. We have to keep on experimenting, and you should have some USP, which is going to take you to the market. Now, on a innovation, I will just take you to a disruptive innovation, which is a key and which I will support or propose to people or students to get into. You have to look for an opportunity which can disrupt the present market. Geo is a classic example. It disrupted the entire telecom market in India. Free calling, 4G network for everyone, cheap rates, but excellent quality. It disrupted the revenue and operations of other telecom operators like Airtel and the Idea, Vodafone, and acquired the maximum number of customers in short period of span. So this is another example of disruptive innovation. Netflix is another example for how a company which was in trouble, through innovation you are able to sustain. So they started with the DVD rental, and now they are into a content creation and web shows, and they are able to sustain their operations. So how to sustain is again through continuous innovation and bringing out new products to the customers. Next. Very briefly, I will talk about my company. We are basically a renewable energy company. It was established in 1998, and we design and provide services for oil and gas, and we also design pilot plants. We have got technologies, and we have got R&D live pilot plant. We have done around 38 installation for gas drilling in India, 2 at ONGC. Next. So what did we do as a I used to work abroad, and I was an NRI, and I did my MBA and came back to India in 2012 to generate employment opportunities to business. So we acquired IETL in 2012, and it was a biogas and renewable energy company that time. Only biogas to biopower and bio-CNG projects were there. So we innovated to offer oil and gas and refinery engineering services and pilot plants. And our organization was able to sustain the operations due to even in the hostile period of pandemic and oil crash, due to diversified nature of our offering. So if we would have retained our original business model, we would not have been there today. So we not only brought the innovation through offering, but we also went to different geographies. We went international. We got projects from Petrofac, L&T, ADNOC, PD Oman, IOCL. Now I'm very happy to see on the right hand side, if you see, IOCL is developing the R&D phase 2 project, big project in Faridabad, around 2,000 crore worth of project. You look at the names. In 2012, it would not have been possible to get into those names. Hill International is the top 10 PMC service provider. Ong and Ong, Singapore is a top 3 architectural designer in the world. RFD, Research Facilities Design, is a number 1 facilities designer, lab designer in the world from USA. And below that, we are their pilot plant designer, Innovative Environmental Technologies Private Limited. It is basically through innovations and through hard work of our team, we are able to get there and we are able to sustain. So if you look at our key clients, this basically talks about, earlier we are working with the domestic clients like sugar mills, starch plant. Now we are working with international clients. Our quality has to go up, our offering has to go up, our team has to develop the skills, the new skill sets, and that is what is the innovation. And that is what is the entrepreneurship. Thank you.
Sorry to interrupt you. We are running short of time, so we are very tight on our schedule. So if you can just wrap up in next 2 minutes.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. I think I'm almost through. What is important, only one more thing I will say about IETL. We have a power plant in a place called Kopargaon in Maharashtra. So we recruited local farmers who were 12th pass or maybe ITI and developed their skill set, trained them to do the gas cleaning plant operation as well as the power generation. A 2 megawatt power plant was operated by 16 farmers from Kopargaon. So this is a skill development. We wanted to highlight here that how a small change, can bring a big change in the local community, and that is very important for us. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity here.
Thank you so much, Aashish. It's not entrepreneurship, especially sector. We are seeing so many coming, and probably in a year or 2 years only, they raise funds, they exit, they been well. It's not easy to survive in the core sector, and you are doing that. So that's fantastic. So now from the organizing team of IEEE ILS-Nagpur, we'd like to present you a memento. Kindly accept this as token of gratitude from our team.
Thank you very much for the moment, and thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you so much. So with that, we are done with the track 3 of International Leadership Summit, which was on innovation and entrepreneurship. For the next track, I hand over the session to Dr. Amoli for